Listening to this, I want you to know that this is the number one mistake that people make in their life as well as in their career without even realizing this. And it's costing them so much money, so much time, so much effort that if they simply ignore this mistake, they can literally 10x their productivity in their life. And to be honest, I myself have made these mistakes over and over and over again in my life while failing five businesses in the last 4 years as an entrepreneur. So there are two dynamics to this problem. The first one is in life, the second one is in business, right? So if we talk about life, how this problem occurs is you simply have to understand that your life has stack of priorities, right? You have a limited attention. You have 24 hours every single day, and in this 24 hours you can give limited amount of attentions to things, right? So you have certain goals, you have certain ambitions in your life that you want to achieve, right? Maybe you what you have to do, and what I did when I was starting my business or when I started this entrepreneurial journey, uh, I chose the most important things that matters to me in life. For example, for me, making money was the most important thing. Not finding a girlfriend, not hooking up with a girl, not anything, just making some fucking money. Because I was so anxious because some 18-year-old was making $1 million on the reel that I saw, some YouTuber was making this. The drop shipping is coming in, the affiliate marketing is coming in picture. So I was so fucked up at that time that I needed to make money. So making money was the number one things for me. After that, building my character, building myself, because I was someone who was too shy. I was someone who was too anxious about myself, so negative about myself. So that was the second thing for me. So money, building myself, then building my physique, my body. That was the number three thing because I was, very skinny. After that, rest of the things comes like educating myself, reading these books that you see in background. So these were the top four priorities that I wanted to focus on. And what I did is basically avoided all the other things apart from this, right? So the principle that I'm talking about is basically saying no to things. You will get what happens is, I will give you an analogy, right? Imagine that your life is like a tree, right? You plant that seed and it comes out of soil and it grows. The further, the longer the trees, the more successful you get in life in terms of financial, in terms of relationship wise, in terms of everything. The larger, the longer the tree, the more successful you get, right? And what happens is in a average person life, when they plant a seed, they start working on something, they grow their stem, the trees start increasing in height. But what happens that there are a lot of distractions in their life, right? Maybe a friend called, maybe there is this girl who wanted to talk to them, maybe there is this Instagram post, somebody is stalking them and they give their attention to this. There are multiple distractions these days. So what happens is after growing a certain level, in certain aspect, the tree after growing certain level, it grows its branches, sidewise, this branch, this branch, this branch, this branch. And what eventually happens is the tree is like a doesn't go to that amount of length, height. It's just you can understand that it just grows wide, but it's not to that height where the top 1% or millionaires, or you can say rich people, are sitting at the top. It never goes to that level. And what a wealthy person, what if you want to grow in life, if you want to become exceptional, what you have to do is basically keep focusing on the growth. And how you will focus on this growth is basically ignore all the distractions that is making your tree go wide. And if you ignore all these distractions, you will not grow sideways because you are just going up. You are literally, every branch is asking you, every phone call, every distraction is asking you to come at this party. You are saying no to it and going up. So this is the analogy, you have to say no to things. When I started my journey, 3 4 years back, I had this large group of friends, 20 25 people in single group. They used to go to clubbing, they used to party every weekend. And earlier, I used to fit in because I wanted to be that cool kid that everybody knows in the college, and I wanted to have girls when I entered the college, that shit. So, when I started this journey, I cut those people off. I stopped picking up their calls. I stopped replying to their texts. Obviously, you will lose friend. Obviously, you will lose people in life. But the moral of the summary is the more distractions, the more you say no to people, the better your life gets, right? The smaller circle of friends you have, ambitious group of people that are chasing something, that are trying to be someone in life. If you chase that, your life becomes, very smooth. And that's what I mean to say when I say you have to ignore people, you have to say no to people. Imagine this. I don't know if you have seen this movie known as Matrix, but what happens is the concept is there is this there is this woman wearing a beautiful red dress that walks by every time in your life. And if you can successfully ignore this woman, right? And this woman is an analogy for distraction. Maybe a girl, maybe a party, maybe a trip to Goa, maybe a trip to XYZ place, maybe anything. In your college, there is some festival, you want to go there. If you can ignore this red woman in red dress, your life becomes so easy. So that's what I want to tell you, that in life you have to say no to for certain things, and if you can just focus on the growing the length of your tree, you will go to exceptional places. Now, this also applies to business, right? When I started out business, and I see a lot of entrepreneur these days not, doing the same mistake again and again. We are living in a modern world. There is always a new opportunity popping up. Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, drop shipping in India, agency space, clothing brand. And a lot of people, what they do is basically they start drop shipping for 1 month. They saw this kid made, you know, 5 lakh rupees in 30 days on YouTube from drop shipping in India, and they saw this 30-minute video and they got motivated, and now I want to make money. Now I will also earn 5 lakh. For one month they do a dedicated work, and since they don't earn any money, they drop off that idea. After that, they saw another opportunity on agency space, service based business. They started reaching out to people. They started, making their offer. They started making their presentation for the sales call. Another 1 month, they gave up. And what happens is, after 2 or 3 failing businesses, they give up on their idea. They give up on this online money thing, and they just go, a 9 to 5 job, and then they live a life of a mediocre life throughout their whole career, throughout their whole lifetime. So this is what the thing is. You have to say no to opportunities. If you find an opportunity, you have to stick to it at least for a year, bro. You have to understand, when you stick to the certain things. For me, for like, I will talk about me, because I have failed 5 businesses, and this was the main problem for me. I saw that clothing brand was popping up. I started investing time, investing, designing product, designing this and that website. Then it failed. Then I started funneling, starting a funnel, freelancing. Then again it's failed because I give up on that. So what happens is, when you start a business, you go to a certain level of height, you learn a certain things, you learn how the industry works, you learn how the offer works. You grow this much, then you give up. And then you again start a new business from ground zero, right? And then again you go to a certain height, then you give up. The momentum that you require in order to earn money, you never reach to that point. So what I want you to do is ignore all these opportunities in the market. Say no to the woman in red dress. That's the concept. All the opportunities, sexy opportunities that you see on reels, ignore them. Just focus on one thing. Maybe it's service based business, maybe it's product based business, I don't care. Focus on that, keep failing, keep getting exhausted, and wake up every single day pushing the same thing. What will happen is you will learn more things, because since you don't have the option of giving up on this fucking business, you will try to make this work. And this, the same thing happened to me. After failing 5 businesses, I decided now I am going all in my agency, and for the first 5 or 6 months I didn't get any client. I kept reaching out to 50 people every single day, 50 to 60 people every single day, and got zero responses. And after 6 months I signed my first client. So you can imagine, you can do the calculation how many cold reach out I did. So what happens is, but what exactly happened is, when I started this agency and decided not to give up, I kept on building, I kept on going up, growing the branch of, growing the height of tree, ignoring all the distractions, saying no to everything in life, going out, college parties, that girl, this girl, TM, Instagram, I deactivated everything, just focusing on the growth of my tree. And I just keep pursuing this opportunity of agency space, and I kept pushing. So that's what you need to do. You have to say no to all the sexy business idea that these teenagers are showing you, and you just have to pick one that you think is the best one and just focus on that. And this also applies to non-beginners, right? If you are already making certain level of income, let's say you are making 5,000, $6,000 every single month, what happens, the bigger your tree grows, the sexier these branches are, the sexier the woman in red dresses, right? When you have money, someone comes to you. I get DMs, a lot of DMs that, hey man, I have this business opportunity. Do you want to invest in this? This will literally give you 80,000 every single month of additional income. And I say no to these things, because they say that you are leaving money on the table, but they don't realize that I am leaving that money on the table because I am focusing on the length of my tree so that I can get the main thing. And a lot of people just focus on the money on the table, short wins, sexy wins, and what happens is their main branch, the main tree that they had to focus on, they ignore that. So the level at which you are in life, maybe you are making 10 lakhs a month, maybe you are making 20 lakhs a month, or maybe you are making zero rupees or $0 a month. So this exists in every phase of life. Even you are earning zero, 10 lakh, 20 lakh, but the opportunity gets sexier. At zero, you are just getting some random reel which is showing your business model that you think this might work. At 10 lakh, this gets sexier when some investor reaches out to you. At 20 lakh, some other entrepreneurs who are in your space reaches out to you for any business. So you have to ignore these things until and unless you are at a certain level of surety that, okay, my main business is giving me the cash flow. Now I can spend some money to these little branches, because investing in businesses can give you ROI, but don't leave this main branch, this main tree that you have, the main business that you have, and skip from one place to another. And I have made this entire life till now, 4 or 5 years, and this is the mm, biggest mistake that you can make if you want to slow down your pace, slow down your life. And yeah, man, just ignore these distractions, ignore the woman in red dress, and you will get way too far in life. That's all.